If you think you need years of experience to make your home look like it belongs in a magazine, stop scrolling right now because I'm about to prove you wrong. Today, I'm going to walk you through some of the easiest crochet home decor pieces you can make, even if you just picked up a hook for the first time this week. No fancy stitches, no confusing patterns, just simple, pretty things that make your space feel warm and put together. And by the end of this video, you're going to have a whole list of projects you can start tonight. So, here's the thing. A lot of people want their home to feel cozy and personal, but store-bought decor is expensive, and half the time it looks exactly like everyone else's. You go to a home store, you buy a throw pillow, and then you see the same pillow on someone's Pinterest board, on a TikTok room tour, and on your neighbor's couch. It's not special anymore. It's just stuff. And when people think about making their own decor, crochet feels like the obvious answer. But then they open up Pinterest or Instagram and see these huge, detailed blankets with 100 colors and tiny stitches, and they think, there's no way I can do that. So they close the app and go back to buying things that don't really feel like theirs. Here's what nobody tells you. The cutest, most popular home decor items in crochet are actually some of the easiest things you can make. You don't need to know how to read a complicated pattern. You don't need special yarn. You don't even need to know more than 2 or 3 stitches. I'm serious. Some of the coziest looking pieces are made with nothing but single crochet and a bit of patience. Let's start with the easiest one, because I think this is the perfect first project if you've truly never made anything before. Coasters. I know it sounds small, almost too simple, but hear me out. A coaster is basically just a small circle or square made with single crochet, and it takes maybe 20 to 30 minutes once you get the hang of it. You can make 4 or 5 of them in an afternoon while watching a show, and suddenly you have a matching set sitting on your coffee table that nobody else has, because you picked the colors, you made the size, and you decided how thick the yarn should be. The reason coasters are such a great starting point is because they teach you the basic skill you'll use in almost every other project on this list, which is working in a flat circle or a simple row. Once your hands understand how that works, you're not starting from zero anymore. You already know something. And that feeling, when you finish your first coaster and it actually looks like a coaster and not some weird lopsided blob, that feeling is what gets people hooked on this hobby. It's such a small win, but it changes how you see yourself. You go from, I can't do this, to, wait, I just did this. Once you've got a few coasters under your belt, the next step up is a granny square. Now, I know granny squares have a reputation like they're old-fashioned or something your grandma made in the 70s, but granny squares have come back in a big way. And honestly, they deserve it because they are one of the most beginner-friendly patterns that exist. A granny square is just a repeating pattern of stitches worked in rounds, and once you memorize the first 2 rounds, the rest is just repeating what you already did, but bigger. Here's why this matters for home decor specifically. A single granny square can become a coaster. A few granny squares sewn together can become a small pillow cover. A bunch more can become a blanket for your couch. So really, once you learn this one pattern, you unlock like 5 different decor projects at the same time. You're not learning 5 new things, you're learning one thing and using it 5 different ways. If you want something that looks a little more grown up and modern, try making a small basket. Baskets are worked in a spiral using single crochet, and you build them up from the bottom, kind of like building a bowl out of clay, except with yarn. These are so useful because you can use them for literally anything: remote controls, hair clips, snacks on your desk, plants, mail you haven't opened yet. And when you use a thicker yarn, like a chunky cotton yarn, the basket practically makes itself stand up on its own without you doing anything special. It looks intentional and expensive, but it's really just single crochet going around and around. Now let's talk about something that feels a little more like a decoration and less like an object, and that's a wall hanging. I know wall hangings can look intimidating because the finished ones you see online sometimes have all these different textures and shapes and fringe hanging down, but a beginner wall hanging can be as simple as one rectangle piece of crochet fabric attached to a wooden stick or a branch, with some fringe added at the bottom. That's it. You're not making anything complicated. You're making one flat piece, the same stitch over and over, and then you're just tying strands of yarn along the bottom to create that fringe look. Hang it above your bed or your desk, and it instantly makes the wall look less empty and more like a space someone actually cares about. Plant hangers are another one people love, for good reason, because they take almost no yarn and almost no time, but they make a huge difference in how a room feels. Most simple plant hangers are made using something called a chain stitch, which, if you don't know it yet, is genuinely the very first stitch you learn in crochet. It's the foundation of everything else. So if you know how to chain, you can make a plant hanger today. You just create a few long chains, group them together, and tie them in a certain pattern to hold a pot. Hang one in a window with a small plant inside, and your room suddenly looks like something out of a cozy home Tumblr page. Now, table runners and small blankets are a step up in terms of time, but not really in terms of difficulty. A table runner is just a long rectangle, and a small throw blanket is just a bigger rectangle. The stitch doesn't change, the pattern doesn't change. The only thing that changes is how many rows you make and how patient you are. This is actually one of the best kept secrets in crochet. Big, impressive-looking projects are often just small, easy stitches repeated a lot of times. It's not that the stitch gets harder as the project gets bigger, it's just longer. So here's where it gets exciting, and this is the part I really want you to pay attention to. Imagine you start with the coasters this week. You make 4 of them in one sitting. The next week, you try a granny square, and it works. And you make 3 more and sew them into a small pillow cover. Then the week after, you make a plant hanger for that one corner of your room that's always felt a little empty. And before you know it, weeks have passed, and you look around your living room and there are pieces everywhere that you made with your own hands. Not bought, not ordered online, made. That moment when you sit on your couch and realize the pillow behind your back, the coaster under your drink, and the plant hanger in the window all came from the same ball of yarn and the same 2 hands, that's the real payoff here. It's not just about saving money, even though you will save a lot of money doing this instead of buying decor. It's about walking into your own home and feeling like it's actually yours, like every corner has a piece of you in it. That's something you can't buy off a shelf, no matter how much money you spend. And here's something people don't expect. Once you make one thing and it turns out okay, you get a little braver. The coaster gives you confidence to try the granny square. The granny square gives you confidence to try the pillow. The pillow gives you confidence to try the blanket. Each project is like a small step on a staircase, and before you